Right, hello everybody. Hopefully you can all hear me. I'm just going to introduce myself. So there's two of us here from the University of Hertfordshire Day. So my name's Brad Johnson. I'm the Regional Manager for Africa and the Middle East here at the university. I've worked for the university for about 3 years now and was a student there between 2012 and 2015. I'm going to let my colleague introduce herself now as well. I think you're muted.
Hi, so my name is Lila Sansole and I am the country manager for East and Southern Africa for University of Hertfordshire, which means I take care of students from the whole of East Africa and the whole of Southern Africa, including where all the UNICEF offices are. So if you're working with UNICEF, I would be the country officer who you liaise with if you're coming to University of Hertfordshire. I didn't study at the university, but I have been working with the university for about over 5 years now, so about 6 years altogether, but 2 years as a country officer.
Fantastic. Right, so I'm going to talk you through a little bit about the university. If you have any questions, if you can pop them in the chat area. Let me just open up the chat section now, so I've got it in front of me. So any questions you've got about the university, about applying to the university from Africa, anything about student life. Obviously I was a student, so I can give you my honest opinion on a lot of things. So we're here to answer those questions. So I'll talk you through a few things now, and then stop me with any questions if you want anything clarified. So I think one of the main things that we always tell students is to really know before you commence your studies, what do you want to get out of it? So just to put it into context, if you're doing a postgraduate degree, you've got about 300 days if it's 1 year, just 600 if it's 2. And if you're doing an undergraduate degree, you've got about 1,000 days to make the most out of your time. And therefore, it's really important to really get to grips with what do you want to get out of your studies? What do you want to leave university with? Because even after your first 3 months at university, if you're on an undergraduate degree, that's 10% of your time gone already. So we say, do you want to get a high quality degree? What is your main thing to get more experience? Is it to make new friends and grow your network? Or is your main priority to see new things, try new things, see new places? And I think it's really important to really iron out what do you really want to achieve during your studies, so you can start hitting those goals as soon as possible. So the university, as you'll probably know, we are based just north of London. It's the UK's capital city is London. We're in a belt of counties called the home counties. And so what makes the home counties special is that they wrap around London, okay? So the benefit of these is actually most people who work in London live in home counties. So they're incredibly safe spaces. They're quite affluent spaces because a lot of people commute in. But the benefit of people living in these areas and commuting into London is that the trains and networks to London are amazing from the counties. So Hatfield is about 35 miles away from London, but you can get into central London in 25 minutes, okay? So the benefit of living in counties such as Hertfordshire is that actually if you want to live in a rural area, it's quite nice, lots of open spaces, but want to have a bit of London life, you can do that really easily. Trains run from about 5 in the morning until 2 in the morning. So unless you're wanting to travel between 2 in the morning and 5 in the morning, you can pretty much always get back to campus. So as I said, we're a campus university. And what's great about a campus university is that you get loads of space, okay? So we have 2 campuses with us at University of Hertfordshire. So depending on what you're studying, if you can pop in the chat what programs you're studying, and then I'll tailor this to it. So we've got College Lane, which is where a lot of our science and creative arts and healthcare programs are taught. And then you've got de Havilland, which is where our social sciences, law, business and education is taught. Now, the benefit of these 2 campuses is that they are incredibly close to each other. They're about a 15-minute walk, but if you do want to get the bus, which is a free bus, and it's a bus company that the university owns. It takes about 6 minutes, okay? So some students decide to live on College Lane but study on de Havilland, and vice versa. Some will live on de Havilland and study on College Lane. It really doesn't matter which one you choose to do. Obviously, the College Lane campus, which is on screen at the moment, has much more modern accommodation. So the accommodation was built in the last 5 years, whereas de Havilland's accommodation was built 15 years ago. Okay, I lived on de Havilland's accommodation. I lived where the mouse is here, in this block here. It's called Redbourne, in my first year. All of the rooms are en suite, and you share a kitchen with about 10 people. College Lane has more options. So if you're looking at your accommodation options at the moment, the cheapest one on campus is called a twin room, but be prepared to share with another student in a twin room. If you don't want to share with another student in terms of bedroom, you can go for what's called Telford Court, and this is this orange building here. These are individual bedrooms, but you share a bathroom with 3 people, shared between 6. It's our oldest accommodation on campus. It's about 30 years old. And then you've got this bigger section here, okay? There's 4 blocks here. So you've got Bellingham, Spalding, McLean, Newton, and Schofield. Sorry, it's 5 blocks. And so you've got different options there. You've got a studio room, if you want that, which is a room to yourself, and kitchen to yourself, and dining area to yourself. But there's also traditional flats and townhouses, which means you have your own bathroom and toilet, but you share a kitchen with other students. So again, it all depends on what your budget is to these options. But everyone gets access to this free space here. It's got tennis courts, it's got netball, basketball courts, and a big grass area. This is the library. So this is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So whether you want to study in the morning, in the evening, or in the middle of the night, you can go and study there. There is one on each campus. So if you're living on de Havilland, this is where the library is here. Again, it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what we've also got around campus is some amazing flexible spaces. So we know that students don't always want to study in a library, nor do they want to study in their bedrooms sometimes, because it can be quite isolating to study in a bedroom. You can see by the bedrooms here that you've got great study spaces, got a desk area with plenty of room and a notice board, all have Wi-Fi and power. But actually we've got these spaces, which are common rooms, okay? So these are dotted around campus. This is the de Havilland one. But you'll see there's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. So we've got 7 of these on campus. So you can see there's pool tables, there's seating areas, there's study pods. They have a kitchen area in there. Some of them have laundry, so it means that you can play pool with your friends or do some study whilst doing your washing. And these are designed basically to be a flexible space for you to use as you want, okay? They're not monitored by staff, so they are built on respect of other residents. And so you can use these spaces for what you want. In the evenings, they become a social area, but in the daytime, if you want to meet with friends to discuss a project, you can do that there. So it's a great place to learn. So, and this is another space we have. So you can see on the bottom is the green area that I spoke about earlier. But at the top of this picture is one of our new cafes in our libraries. So even when you're in the libraries, which are open 24 hours a day, as I said, you can go into our cafe areas. So these provide a bit more of a relaxed environment for learning. So there's pods, there's hot and cold food. And so what we see here is students either go here for a break for their studies, and it is really important that you do take breaks between your studies. Trust me, I've done a master's and an undergraduate degree now. Sometimes you want to do 7 hours straight, but trust me, in the final 3 hours, your work is not good at all. You are tired, and actually it is nice just to take a 10-minute break, sometimes with friends, so you can have a little bit of a catch-up as well. And also some students choose this area to meet with friends to discuss group projects as well. So they serve a multi-purpose area, and we've invested lots of money in these spaces to make sure you get the most out of your learning. Other things that you can do with us while on campus, I really can't stress how amazing our campus is. I have been there now for obviously for 8 years since my studies and now working there. It is like a small town. We have 2 gyms. One of them's open 24 hours a day. So if you're into working out at 2 in the morning, you can go to the gym. I mean, I don't agree with that because I'm not the most fitness person, but if you're a fitness person and love working out at 2 in the morning, you can go there. We've also got swimming pools. Swimming pools with a 25-metre pool. It's also got a spectator area. We've also got a 100-station gym area, which is both free weights and resistance weights. We've also got a doctor's surgery on campus. So if you fall ill and you do need to speak to a registered GP, you can obviously use the doctor's surgery. We have a high street bank on campus, which is Santander, which is a major bank in the UK. So you'd be able to register for your UK bank account and use that one on site. It's got an ATM, for example, and it's also staffed as well. So if you do need some help with UK banking, there are members of staff there from the bank who can help you. It's important to remember when you travel to the UK, what we advise students is to have enough cash to last you 2 weeks, okay? And the reason is that it can take up to 2 weeks to get a bank set up. And also in those first 2 weeks, you might want to do some shopping. And obviously, if we don't want you to be using your international card because you may be charged banking fees, and obviously that's not something we want. But what I would say is obviously bring an amount of cash that you feel safe to carry on you, because obviously you'll be traveling through airports and you'll be on campus. So bring enough for 2 weeks, but obviously don't bring too much with you. Obviously, you don't want to be carrying lots of cash. We are an incredibly safe place to study. We're the second safest university town in the east of England. So there's no need to worry about safety. However, obviously, it's just a lot of cash to sometimes carry. So it's just something to be aware of. As I was talking about safety there, obviously, we are a fully controlled campus in terms of security. We have over 40 security guards on duty at any one point, and they patrol the site. We've got about 500 to 600 CCTV cameras monitoring the site at all times, and that's monitored by a live security team. And we also work really closely with the police. So the police, our relationship with them is not just to solve crimes, it's the prevention of crime. So we work really in partnership with the local police team to educate students on how to lock up your bike safely to avoid them being stolen, how to maximise your safety when out and about. So that can be things like never walking alone in the evenings, making sure that you always know your route home, making sure your phone's always charged. So it's not necessarily about it's always about increasing safety, and that's our one policy here at the university, is that we're a safe campus, and the reason we are safe is because we've invested lots in security, but we also educate our students on how to remain safe, and that's one of the biggest areas. We have a careers team. So our careers team are outstanding. You get support from the day you start with us and for 2 years after you graduate as well. So if you're on an undergraduate degree, you're getting 5 years of career support from the university. The other benefit is another tool. You might know about the tool. It's called LinkedIn Learning. It used to be called lynda.com. So LinkedIn Learning is an online learning portal which includes, thousands of courses, and we give that free of charge to our students. So you might be studying an accountancy degree, but you might want to do an online course in marketing, for example. You just go onto LinkedIn Learning, you go onto it, and then you do the course, and then you get a certificate that you can put on your LinkedIn as well. And again, that's free of charge. We fully waive the fee on that for you. Then you've got the libraries, which we talked about. We've got cafes and restaurants across site, and they cater for all sorts of dietary requirements, both religious as well as vegan and vegetarian, for example. And then we also have 2 on-campus multi-faith spaces, and they're multi-faith, so we have chaplains in most of the major religions, and they are places to either go and pray, or they are just relaxation spaces as well for students to relax and reflect. They also do something called the International Cafe on a regular basis, which is a networking opportunity for international students to meet each other, as well as to meet other members of the student community. Here's inside some of the pictures. So you've got examples of our swimming pool here. As you can see, it's a massive, really modern, bright, open swimming pool. Inside of one of our laboratories, so anyone studying biosciences, this is where you'll be studying. And then our observatory. So we're really rare as a university to have our own observatory. Not many universities in the UK have them. So you can go and visit that at any point. It's called Bayfordbury. It's on a country estate near the university, and it's a stunning place. It's a really large estate. So one of the benefits, obviously, of studying with us is being close to the capital city, London. So our trains go into a train station called King's Cross Station. It's a direct train from Hatfield. It takes about 25 minutes, and it costs, on a normal day, probably about £8 to go into London. If you want a travel card, it will cost you £30, but that means you can travel all around London as well. So King's Cross, if you're fans of Harry Potter, you'll notice the station is very common for there, because obviously that's where Harry boards platform 9 3/4. There is a trolley in the wall, so if you are a Harry Potter fan and you do want to go and have a picture with the trolley, you can go and pretend you're running into one of the walls at King's Cross. So that's there near the platform that you get off from the university. London's obviously amazing because there's museums, concert venues, the theatre. A lot of the things in London are free. So most of the parks are free to enter. Most of the museums are free to enter. So actually, you can really go to London and have a really affordable day out with friends. Obviously, if you want to spend lots of money in London, you are welcome to. But if you want an affordable day out with friends, exploring the parks and museums, it can be really affordable. It's also great for shopping. So if you're a shopaholic and love spending a lot of money on clothes, you can go to Oxford Street and Regent Street. I'm sure Lila will confer that it's great for shopping, and when we've been into London as a team, you can spend hours in the retail areas in London. And then also we've got loads of sporting venues as well. So if you're into sport, there's a lot of international teams there. You've obviously got Wembley, which you can tour. You can go on a tour of Wembley Stadium. You can tour most of the London stadiums, actually. And also go and see some top flight sports. Then coming back to the local area, so the town is Hatfield. It's a medium-sized town. It's a university town, so the majority of the people there are students or local residents. We have a shopping centre called the Galleria. We also have a variety of restaurants that suit a lot of cuisine. So there's a Nando's, there's Italians, there's Chinese, there's Thai, there's Lebanese food, Mexican food. So there's loads of different cuisines. Importantly, there's a Burger King, a KFC, and a McDonald's in close walking distance to the university, which is incredibly popular with students. And so you've got those. We've also got supermarkets. So Asda and Tesco are the main ones that we have in the area, but we also have specialty food stores as well. And then about 5 minutes away from the university is a city called St Albans. So it's a historic city. It's a Roman city. It's got a food market. It's a beautiful place to go, and you can get the bus there. It takes about 15 minutes on the bus. We can get a taxi with friends. And this is where you'll be graduating from the university. So this top picture is St Albans Abbey. This is where all of our graduations take place at the University of Hertfordshire. So every September, we graduate our students here. It's a beautiful place. There's a massive country park next to it. And you graduate, obviously, in the main part of the Abbey there. So it's a fantastic place to graduate, and it's a beautiful place to spend your time. So if you can just pop in the chat, everyone, what are you studying, planning to study with us at the university, or what do you want to study? It'll just help me guide the next part so I can talk a little bit more detail about some of the schools of study. So if you can just put that in the chat area now. So while you're putting those information in there, this is, you can obviously see the graduation here on the right. These are our sports facilities in the middle. So this is our indoor pitches. So we play about 31 different sports at the university, and you can play against other universities. So that's in a thing called the Bucks League, so British Universities and College Sports. You play against other universities, or if you don't want to play competitively, but just want to play against other students, you can do things called campus sports, which is with students who are at the university. Or if you just want to stay fit and don't want to engage in competitive sport, there's something called active students, which is basically non-sign-up, non-committal, free fitness and sports classes on campus. They're on both campuses, and so you can just go there just to keep fit, meet other students who are into the same things as well. So you can do netball, basketball, rollerblading. So there's a variety of different areas. And you can see some of those other sports facilities there. We've also got a rock climbing wall. So that's a really great thing to do with friends. And we've got instructors there who can guide you on how to use that safely as well. Right, I've got a few things coming in, so I will talk about these two areas first. So this is Hertfordshire Business School. Hertfordshire Business School is one of the largest business schools in the area. We teach over 50 courses across different disciplines. I can see that we've got people from international business and accounting. So we're a multidisciplinary business school. So that means we teach a lot of different areas, and you can see this from some of our accreditations. So you've got the accounting one there for the accountants in the room, marketing, this is the HR one, this is for business, so management. And so we hold about, I think we hold about 30 different accreditations across the business school. We have a mixture of lecture halls and classrooms, but this is our brand new building here. This is the Enterprise Hub. So I'll show where this is located. Let me just pull this picture back up. So the Enterprise Hub is located where this bit of green is here. So this is an older picture, but we've basically built a brand new £12 million business focused building in that gap there. So this is a building that supports local businesses. So it'll be where students are taught in the classrooms, but also this will be a hub for business. So we've got loads of small businesses who work out of this building. So it means that as you're studying business, you'll be surrounded by entrepreneurs. And we want to create a real atmosphere of business development, business growth. It's also got a cafe and restaurant on the ground floor, which is fantastic. So it means you can grab a light bite again. So that means there's another area to eat. But this is going to be a fantastic building for driving business and driving innovation in the community. And then the other area that we're going to talk about is health. So I see we've got a few health students here. So nursing is incredibly popular at the moment. It's a very worthy subject as well. And actually, we're very skilled at teaching it here at the university. We teach most of the Hertfordshire nurses and midwives in the area. So you've got disciplines in adult, child, mental health and learning disabilities, but we also have radiography, oncology, and we also have those postgraduate specialisms as well. And they're just a few that we teach. The university has a lot of simulation suites, so it means that before you go and do clinical practice on an actual ward, you're learning from basically the same facilities. So we've got mock wards, so you can see here, the students are doing a simulation through the window, and it's being monitored by a member of staff here in the observation area. So it means that we can record your practice, watch it back, and then improve your skills, okay? So we've got a mock ward, which is both paediatrics and adult. We've got an intensive care unit, a GP surgery for those who want to go into general practice, a home situation, so for community nurses, and we invite real members of the public to come into that. We've got a radiotherapy room, we've got an X-ray machine, a CT scan machine, an ultrasound lab, and we've also got a mock pharmacy as well. So a pharmacy where you go in and be dispensed drugs. We've got a mock one of those, and they're in our brand new £50 million science building, which is, I'll show you on here. This building here, the green building at the back of campus. We built it 4 years ago, and it was opened in 2016 by the Duke of Edinburgh, who is the Queen's wife in the UK. So that's the School of Health. Really fantastic facilities, practical skills that you'll learn. And we really do train you to be some of the best in the world for nursing. And what we like to do, half the courses that we have, they're 50% learning and 50% clinical practice normally within a real hospital environment. So it means that you're graduating not just with theoretical knowledge, but you're also graduating with lots of practical experience. So that's the main part of the university. We'll happily take questions now. So myself or my colleague Lila will take any questions you've got. If you want to put them publicly in the chat, feel free. But if you'd rather just send them to me and Lila separately, we can then answer those questions for everyone else. So if you've got any questions, please do put them in there and we'll do our best to answer them. Do we have any questions about studying at the university?
I just want to mention that we do have Kat Roberts from UNICEF here as well. She's the head of our visa department. So if you have any specific questions about visas or any updates that you're looking for, she can help with those as well. So again, any questions, just pop them in the chat box.
Lila, while we're waiting for some questions to come in, did you want to talk a little bit more about the African student communities we've got on campus? So things like the societies, because I know we did a Facebook Live the other day, and I think it might be useful to talk about the things that you can do once you get to university.
Okay, so we actually have James Ngechu, who went through UNICEF. So James joined the university through UNICEF, so he can tell you about working with UNICEF as well. He is the president of the East African Students Society on campus, so he might be able to tell us a bit. So we had a live Q&A on Facebook last week, and we were just talking about how societies enrich students' experience, and James shared a bit about the East African Society. So I might hand over to James just to tell us a bit more about ESOC, and then I will get back to everyone about applying through UNICEF and applying to Hertfordshire for October intake.
Hi, so I'm James Ngechu. I'm the current president of the East African Society, and I'm in my second year. I study electrical and electronics engineering. I'm going into my third year, and I joined the uni through UNICEF. So personally, I really liked UNICEF because it was very simple. I didn't need to do much. It was mainly sending my information to UNICEF, and they basically did all the hard work. All I needed to do was pay for whatever I needed to pay for, like in terms of visa application. And about societies, so if you people don't know what societies are, it's basically a group of students with similar interests learning about similar things. For example, the East African Society, it's a group of East Africans or people interested in the East African tradition. And we started the society very recently, about last year, towards November. And so far it's doing really well. We have like a good loyal fan base, like our members and everything. And yeah, it's a good way to meet new friends, to make new people, and to feel at home away from home. So if you guys also have any personal questions about the society or about a student life, because I'm a current student in there, feel free to ask.
we have a question. So someone's asking what the process of paying a deposit is. They are academically unconditional. Lila, did you want to take that one? Oh, can you hear us, Lila?
Sorry.
Oh, no, sorry.
Hi, everyone. Keep doing that. We're running our early bird special, which means that normally when you accept an offer from University of Hertfordshire, you're expected to pay a £5,000 deposit. But the early bird special means that you can opt to pay £1,000, and then you would have an extra month to build it up to the 5,000 that's required. You can pay the £1,000 either by bank transfer, or you can pay on any of our online platforms. If you get in touch with me, I can send you the exact details on how to pay, or if you just drop your name in the chat, I can send you an email with further information. The early bird discount also means that once you've paid the £1,000 or the £5,000, you get a £1,000 discount on your tuition fees for the year. And you need to have the deadline for the early bird discount is the 30th of June.
Fantastic. Then the next one we've got, I can take this one. So it's a little bit about clinical placements. What hospitals do some of our students practice in? Right, so this is quite a difficult one to answer because it varies depending on the programme. So typically on the nursing programmes, students will be at hospitals within the local area. So there'll be the Hertfordshire ones, the ones in North London, some going into West Essex as well. But they will all be commutable, so they won't be on the other side of the country. If you look at hospitals in North London, so you've got Barnet Hospital, you've got Watford Hospital, you've got Stevenage, which is called the Lister. There's a hospital in Welwyn Garden City as well. So there are lots of hospitals around the area. You may do community nursing, which means you won't be based in a hospital. You'll be going around to patients' houses, which is what the community nursing does. If you are doing a program such as radiography, you may have to go a bit further, sometimes to Oxford. But normally the nursing programs are all in the local area, so they're easily commutable. And as I said, the university owns their own bus company. And one of the founding reasons we own a bus company is that we wanted to have a bus company that services them, but also our nursing students can get around. So in place. But yeah, normally Hertfordshire, West Essex, maybe a tiny bit of Bedfordshire, which is the county next door, and North London. So they'll be the main hospitals that you'll be practicing. Someone said you've paid the deposit. Next, okay, so essentially what's next is that the deposit's been paid, so that's cleared that condition. Now you'll just need to make sure you clear all other outstanding conditions on your offer, okay, to make yourself academically unconditional. Then we will check finances. And then if for some students, not all, you may need to have an interview with a member of our team. Again, that's normally if there's a visa refusal on your record or there's some adverse visa and immigration history that the university just wants to have a chat about. Once we are satisfied that you are ready to be sponsored, we will then issue you with a CAS number. Now, it's important to let you know that we can only issue CAS numbers 3 months before you start your course, okay? Now, the reason, so we can create them up to 6 months before, but the reason we issue them only 3 months before is that if you apply for a visa more than 3 months before the start of your course, you will get an instant refusal. So the reason we don't release them earlier is to stop you from accidentally applying for your visa and getting a refusal, because obviously we don't want people to get a refusal, because obviously then that becomes adverse immigration history and can have a knock-on impact on the rest of your life in terms of travel. So you won't get a CAS until 3 months before. So just to put that into context, that's around about the end of July for our upcoming intake. So you may have everything ready to go but we will not do anything to do with your CAS until the end of July, okay? And that's to protect you from applying too early and getting an instant refusal. So if you've got everything cleared and you're happy and you think you have, you can double check that through Uniserve, or Lylan can confirm that with you. And then basically clear everything now. It means you'll be at the front of the queue for when we start issuing CASs. If you don't clear everything now and wait till the summer, obviously it means we're a little bit busier. So my advice will be do everything you can right now to get prepared. And I think probably colleagues at Uniserve will probably agree the best thing to do is be prepared, so when CASs can be issued, you're ready to go.
Hi, Brad. Yeah, absolutely. It's Kat from Uniserve. So yeah, if everybody can start getting their documents in order now, as you were just told, so you can start thinking about your finances, if you needed to do an English exam, your medical certificates and things like that. Come in and see us at Uniserve, and we'll check all the documents over with you to make sure everything's in order, ready for when you get that CAS. And then you can submit your application. And the good news now is that we got notification last week that the visa application centre is reopening in Nairobi from Monday the 29th. So there'll be limited appointments, and they will increase over the coming weeks and months, but it is good news, and it's very hopeful about international flights reopening and being able to start your course in September or October.
And I think what we find with a lot of students is that it's important, basically, don't panic. Obviously, we get a lot of student panic around July saying they need their CAS, but actually, trust, you couldn't even apply for your visa until 3 months before anyway. I would start to panic if we got to September and you haven't submitted your documents, because it is getting a bit tight and there are uncertainties whether priority and super priority visas are going to be issued this year.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
If you're proactive and get ready for the end of July, August, do not panic. We have enough time to clear everything, and you have enough time to then apply for your visa. But try not to leave it until September, because it does get a bit tight for time. Just to let you know as well, there is going to be an announcement from the UK government today. Boris Johnson, our Prime Minister, is addressing the nation tonight to talk about the next stage of the UK government's proposed relaxation of the lockdown. And so it's probably likely there'll be some international press on that over the next few days. We don't know what that is yet. We will find out together at 5 o'clock when our Prime Minister addresses the country, but it may include things like travel changes, and it may there's rumours that the relaxation of the social distancing distance is going to be changed. Obviously, none of it's confirmed, and we'll find out tonight, but it could be quite a large announcement. So, I would expect to see some international press on those announcements, which will probably then drive what will happen with consulates and embassies around the world as things start to change. So keep an eye on that. We're expecting things to be changing for the positive, because there has been a decline in cases and deaths in the UK recently. So we are expecting some positive adjustments, but obviously we'll find out today at 5 o'clock, and I'm sure Uniserve will probably be getting the updates from the government's website anyway, and we'll keep applicants up to date. Likewise, so will we.
Okay, that's great. We'll get tuned in. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, British summertime.
Yeah. There is a question there about medical certificates and how to apply. And so the only medical you need for your student visa is your TB certificate, so your chest x-ray. And there's only one place that students can do that, and that's at the International Office of Migration in Gigiri. So you can go along there, that you don't usually need an appointment at this stage. When they get busier, they may well introduce an appointment system. They're valid for 6 months at a time. So don't do it too early. It has to be still valid at the time of travel, but it is good to start thinking about that now and getting your TB certificate in place.
Is there any further questions? If you want to send them privately to one of us, we'll answer it, but obviously we wouldn't say who you are. So if you don't want to do it in front of everyone. Just send it as a private to one of us, myself, Lila, or Kat, and then we can answer that for you. Any further questions? So I think what would be best to do is, if you have any questions after this, Lila, did you just want to pop your contact details in the chat? Because obviously we're more than happy to answer any questions you've got. If you want to do it a bit more privately, we can pop our contact details there. Likewise, the team at UniServe obviously are always there to support as well. And then if you want to follow us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, facebook.com/Uni of Herts International, and then Uni of Herts INTL on Twitter and Instagram. We're posting updates on scholarships, events. Also, we're keeping you in the loop about the changes and what you can expect from campus as well. So it's really important to keep up to date about what's going to be happening on campus. We are planning to do face-to-face teaching this October. So be reassured, we are doing face-to-face teaching. It will be an incredibly safe learning environment. We have invested lots onto the campus to make sure that there is the appropriate distancing, protection, hygiene and cleaning facilities as well. So what I would say is be reassured that you'll get a face-to-face learning environment, but it will be safe.
I'd also just like to add that if all students could work really closely with the UniServe team at this point going forward as you prepare to join us on campus, it's really important to work closely with your counselor. That will make sure that you do get to campus on time, and you get to campus following all the rules, and that your visa will come out on time as well. We also have several exciting scholarships that we're running. So right now, one that we're running that's got a deadline that's soon is the University of Hertfordshire's next top graduate. So I will send some information to the UniServe team so that they can also put that on their social media today. It's a £4,000 scholarship with the opportunity to be mentored by the dean of the school that you're going to be studying at. So there's a lot of exciting stuff happening on at Hertfordshire. So you just follow us on our social media. You'll be able to be up to date with all the information. And I look forward to welcoming all of you on campus in October. And if you have any questions, please feel free to just get in touch.
Thank you very much for today. Obviously, we're more than happy to take questions separately via email, and Lila's put her contact details there below, and I believe the UniServe team have as well, and so is James as well for the East African Society. So do get in touch with us. We are here to help, and we really do wish you a safe summer, an enjoyable summer. Hopefully we do get a summer, and we really can't wait for you to join us here at the university this October. So thank you ever so much, everybody.
Thank you.